Here's the thing. If you fell into a black hole, you wouldn't just die. You'd experience something so weird that it literally breaks everything we understand about reality. Your friend watching from a safe distance would see you slow down, like really slow down. And if you're enjoying this mind-bending stuff, hit that like button and subscribe because this gets wild. Time itself starts stretching as you get closer to the event horizon. From your perspective, you're falling normally, but to everyone else, you're moving in slow motion, getting slower and slower. Eventually, you'd appear frozen in time, hovering at the edge forever. But here's the crazy part. You never feel yourself slowing down. You just keep falling while the universe outside speeds up around you. Days pass for you while centuries flash by outside. Time literally splits into two different experiences. Wild, right? Okay, but here's where it gets genuinely terrifying. There's this thing called spaghettification, and yes, that's the actual scientific term. The gravity at your feet is pulling way harder than the gravity at your head, so you start stretching. Not like a little stretch, but like being pulled apart atom by atom. Your body becomes a long, thin noodle of former human. It starts slowly but accelerates fast. First, you feel this weird tugging sensation in your legs. Then your bones start creaking under the pressure difference. Eventually, you're stretched so thin that your molecules separate. It's like the universe's worst taffy machine and you're the taffy. No joke, this is how physics actually works here. Now let's talk about the event horizon. This is the actual edge of the black hole, the point where even light can't escape. Once you cross this line, you're done. There's no coming back, no matter what. Think of it like falling off a waterfall, but the waterfall is made of space-time itself. Before you cross it, you could theoretically still fire your rockets and escape. The moment you cross, you're trapped. Physics literally doesn't allow you to turn around. And here's the weird part. Crossing it might not even feel like anything special. No wall and no barrier, just empty space. You wouldn't know you just passed the point where your fate was sealed until you tried to escape and realized the entire universe is now in one direction behind you. Everything in front of you is just more black hole. So what would you actually see falling in? First, the stars behind you would appear to compress into a bright ring. All the light from the universe gets squeezed into this tight circle. Meanwhile, ahead of you is just blackness, pure nothing. As you fall faster, the light behind you gets brighter and shifts blue. This is because you're catching up to light waves and compressing them. The ring gets smaller and brighter until it's just this intense point of blue-white light. And that's the last light you'll ever see from the outside universe. Everything else is darkness. Eventually, even that tiny point of light disappears. Now you're in complete darkness, falling towards something you can't see or understand. Honestly, that's the scariest part. At the center of every black hole is something called a singularity. This is where all the matter that fell in gets compressed to an infinitely small point. Infinite density, infinite gravity, zero size. Our math literally breaks down here because infinity isn't a real number we can work with. Some physicists think it might not actually be a point, but rather something else entirely. Maybe a ring, maybe a different dimension, maybe a gateway to another universe. But here's the thing. Nobody knows, and nobody can know. Because information can't escape a black hole, we can't test any theories. You'd reach the singularity in a finite amount of your personal time. And then what? Nobody knows. Everything we understand about physics stops working at that point. It's the ultimate unknown. Not all black holes are created equal. A small stellar black hole would spaghettify you way before you reach the event horizon. You'd be torn apart in the most painful way while still technically outside the black hole. But a supermassive black hole, the kind at the center of galaxies, is different. These things are so massive that their event horizons are huge. You could actually cross the event horizon and survive for a while. The tidal forces near the event horizon are weak enough that you'd stay intact. You could theoretically live for hours inside a supermassive black hole before reaching the singularity, just floating around inside the event horizon thinking about your choices. Of course, you're still doomed, but at least you get some time to process it. Here's something wild. Black holes actually evaporate. Stephen Hawking figured out that black holes emit tiny amounts of radiation. It's so small that a stellar black hole would take longer than the age of the universe to evaporate. But as the black hole loses mass, it gets hotter and evaporates faster. Eventually, in the distant future, every black hole will just poof, disappear. It's like the universe's slowest self-destruct mechanism. The last black holes will evaporate in about 10 to the 100th years from now. That's a 1 with 100 zeros after it. By then, everything else in the universe will be long gone. Black holes will be the last objects to exist before even they fade away. The universe will end in darkness, and we have black holes to thank for holding out the longest.
Okay, so let's say you wanted to survive falling into a black hole. First, you'd need to pick a supermassive one. You'd need a spaceship with incredible structural integrity, and honestly, you'd still die. There's just no way around it. But theoretically, you could buy yourself some time. The problem is you can't escape and you can't communicate with the outside. You'd be completely cut off from the universe. Your family wouldn't even know you died. From their perspective, you'd just be frozen at the event horizon forever. Meanwhile, you'd experience your own death in real time. So yeah, technically you could survive for a bit, but it's literally the worst survival situation possible. Here's where things get philosophically weird. When something falls into a black hole, all information about it seems to disappear. But quantum mechanics says information can never be destroyed. So we have this massive contradiction called the information paradox. Some physicists think the information is encoded on the event horizon, like everything that falls in leaves an imprint on the surface. Others think information leaks out through Hawking radiation, or maybe it goes to another universe entirely. The wild part is this isn't just academic. This paradox is one of the biggest unsolved problems in physics. It might require a completely new understanding of reality to solve. Like, we might need to rewrite the rules of the universe to figure this out. Wait, there's more. Some types of black holes might allow time travel. Rotating black holes create something called a ring singularity. Theoretically, you could pass through the ring and end up in another time or another universe with different physical laws. There's also this thing called a wormhole, where two black holes connect. You'd fall into one and pop out of another somewhere else in space and time. Now, before you get excited, this is all extremely theoretical. The energies required are insane, and you'd probably still die. Plus, we've never actually observed any of this happening. But mathematically, it's not impossible. So technically, black holes might be the universe's time machines. We just don't know how to use them without dying, which honestly is the most frustrating thing about physics sometimes. So with all this wild theory, what have we actually seen? In 2019, scientists captured the first image of a black hole. It was the supermassive black hole at the center of galaxy M87. That orange glow around the darkness, that's photons orbiting the event horizon. We've also detected gravitational waves from black holes merging. Two black holes spiraling into each other create ripples in space-time itself. We can literally hear black holes colliding. Scientists converted the gravitational waves to sound, and it's this deep chirp, like the universe going boop when black holes merge. We've confirmed that supermassive black holes exist at the center of most galaxies, including our own Milky Way. There's one called Sagittarius A star, right in the middle of our galaxy, and we can watch stars orbit around this invisible monster. So here's the thing about black holes. They're not just cosmic monsters. They're fundamental to how the universe works. They help regulate galaxy formation. The supermassive black holes at galaxy centers control star birth rates. Without them, galaxies would be completely different. Black holes are also our best laboratory for testing extreme physics. They push our understanding to the absolute limits, and falling into one would give you a perspective literally no one else could have. You'd see the universe from a place where physics breaks, where time and space swap roles. It would be terrifying and painful and fatal, but also the most unique experience in the universe. So yeah, if you fell into a black hole, you die, but you die knowing something no one else ever could, which is wild to think about. If you found this interesting, drop a comment with your thoughts and check out my video on what happens inside a neutron star, because that's equally insane. Thanks for watching.